Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. This is my first video back. I haven't filmed for about 6 weeks, so if I'm a bit rusty, that's why. Also, I have got Jack in the room with me. He's currently asleep in his cat bed, but if you can hear movement at some point, it's probably him padding around, checking out what's going on. So today I want to talk about problematic authors, as you will have seen from the title of this video. The last time I did a discussion video, which was Do Books Need Content Warnings, which I will link here and in the description, I sent you to a video that Brianna from Coffee Books and Bullet Journals had done, and weirdly enough I'm going to do the same for this video. The day of filming this, I watched her video on this topic a couple of days ago. She did so well. I had already planned to make this video and I also almost crossed it off my list because she had done such a brilliant job at explaining, but much like with the content warning discussion, I feel like it's something I want on my channel, and I think the more people talk about this, the better. So here I am to put in my 5p worth. Also, before I get into it, I just want to point out, like, obviously this is just my opinion, and I'm not here to tell people what to do or anything like that. This is just my thoughts on the issue, what I plan to do and why. So let's do it. So, problematic authors. This year has been a lot, in a lot of ways for a lot of people. And one of the things that has happened is a lot of people have shown their true colours and what they really think. And some of those points of view, to me, are not acceptable. And I personally feel a lot of responsibility, even though my platform is like tiny. I feel a lot of responsibility for the content that I bring you guys, the things I talk about, the things you can see in my background. I take it really seriously, and I feel like I have a responsibility to A, make you guys aware if I know something problematic, and B, to take steps to like minimise the amount of publicity I'm giving those problematic people. Now, obviously the main one who has shown herself this year is J.K. Rowling. I'm not going to get into the details of what she has said and done because I am a cisgendered straight woman, so it doesn't directly affect me. I will have a video in the description of this video to a trans woman who explained really well exactly what J.K. Rowling has said, took it apart and explained why it's problematic and why it's damaging. So I will link that video. It's from a channel called Sue Gives an F. So as you might gather from that channel title, there is quite a lot of swearing in that video, so just be aware of that going in. You might want your kids in a different room, but it's a really good video, and I felt like it explained it, broke it down and explained why what J.K. Rowling is doing is harmful. So I will leave the explanation of that to someone who is a trans person and is therefore directly affected. Now, Harry Potter, as you guys will know if you've watched my channel for any length of time, is something I love, and it's a big part of my life. It's been a big part of this channel. You know, I've made several Harry Potter specific videos. I absolutely adore that world. It was one of the series that got me into reading and made me a reader, and I'm saying goodbye to it, and I'm sad about that. I've been sad about that for a couple of months now. It's taken me a while to make this video to try and sort out my thoughts on it. And I'm sad. You know, I won't be buying any more merch. I won't be going back to the wizarding world of Harry Potter. I haven't decided yet what to do about the books that I have and the films that I have. I'm very privileged to have a full set of the paperback books. I've also got a full set of the illustrated books up to Goblet of Fire, which was the one that was released last year. And I've got a full set of the films. So obviously Rowling doesn't get paid per read, so I could continue to read the books and rewatch the films without her benefiting financially. But at the moment I really don't feel like I can go back into that world because of all the things that she has said and that have come to light. And there's always the argument for separating the art from the artist, and I have to admit that I've been guilty of that with J.K. Rowling. This is not the first time she has been problematic and damaging, but I have been guilty before of basically ignoring it, and I feel awful for that, and it won't be happening going forward. So in terms of what I'm doing, as you can see, you can no longer see the books behind me. They used to be down here. They are now on a different bookshelf that is not visible. Like I said, I haven't decided what to do with those books yet, but I'm just kind of putting that to one side for now. And yeah, I will not be promoting anything related to J.K. Rowling anymore. I will not be financially supporting her anyway. My birthday is coming up and I have specifically asked friends and family not to buy me any more merch because I don't want them spending money that will then wind up in her pocket. And people say, oh, it's just a tiny amount. The tiny amounts build up and then suddenly you're a multimillionaire with a massive Twitter platform, and then you say a series of things that are seriously harmful and people listen. And I don't want to be a part of that anymore. So I am saying goodbye. And like I said, I am really sad about that, but my childhood nostalgia is not worth more than people's right to exist. And so I'm stepping away. And this will be the last video in which I mention her or Harry Potter. And that is just what I plan to do. To me, that's the right thing to do for me. So yeah, no more Harry Potter. There are also other authors who are problematic. So Meredith Russo, John Boyne has come out in support of J.K. Rowling. Meredith Russo hasn't been in support of J.K. Rowling. There was another thing that happened last year. And much like Brianna said in her video, I'm not going to get into exactly what's been said. You can easily find that on Google. But I just want to be clear, like this channel and this space, I want it to be safe for everybody. I want it to be a positive thing. And I will not advertise or promote authors who are problematic. Rainbow Rowell is another one. And Rainbow Rowell is another tricky one because she's someone who I've read most of her backlist. I went through a phase a couple of years ago of reading everything she'd written. So I think I've read everything she wrote up until about 2016, 17, something like that. One of the books that she wrote is very racist and very fatphobic and generally problematic. And so far she has ignored everyone's requests for her to address that and to apologise and to talk about it. And to me, you know, we're all human, we all make mistakes, we all mess up, but I think what is important is how you come back from that, and how you deal with failing says a lot about who you are as a person. When somebody is repeatedly problematic and refuses to apologise and digs in further to their problematic point of view, or doesn't respond and tries to ignore it, that is the point at which I will step away, because it's just like, no, you're not learning from this, you're not changing your behaviour, you're not understanding that you're being harmful, so I'm out. So yeah, this is kind of all my thoughts on this, and as usual I haven't scripted this, so it's just a jumble of things, but there's been a lot happening. I feel like as well, this doesn't always get reported in the media. The way that the BBC in particular, or the media here in the UK, reported the J.K. Rowling thing was really not good, and it was really shady. And I think sometimes if you're not directly part of the book community, you might not know about this kind of stuff. So that's why I plan to, you know, talk about this when it happens. I've had quite a few conversations with my family members, for example, who didn't understand what J.K. Rowling had said and why it was a problem and why I no longer wanted to support her, but once I'd explained it to them and showed them a few videos, they got it. So yeah, I feel like we in the book community as well, if we feel like something is not right, we should be speaking up, because the wider community outside of BookTube might not know what's going on. So those are my slightly jumbled thoughts on this topic. Please leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this. Please be respectful. I have been trolled really hard on Twitter twice in the last few months for various different, well, 2 different reasons that I'm not going to get into, and I'm not interested in having that here. So I'm always open for discussion, but I will only have discussions, I will not just be attacked. So I'm not one for deleting comments unless they're harmful, and if I see any of that, I will just remove. But if you're up for a discussion, a debate, I'm always here. Let me have your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye.